Good morning. I'm getting ready for another Sisterlock establishment, but I wanted to come into the salon early in order to take my hair down. I've had it this way for at least 3 or 4 days. And I also wanted to go ahead and tell you about my first establishment. As I said during that first day, everything went well. I did not accomplish as much as I wanted to. I only completed the first half of the front of the head, but I still felt accomplished because within that time I also had to do parting and setting up the grid. And my client did not want to stay after 6 o'clock because she had an hour's drive home and did not want to drive in the dark. So we established that from the very beginning. On the second day, we started early and everything was going well. Everything was going well. I was able to finish the second half of the front of the head before our break. And then I started on the back of the head. Shortly after our break, I began to feel somewhat weird. I am not a person that usually gets sick, so I didn't understand what was going on. I really did not understand what was going on with my body. I kept on working. I was able to complete maybe 2 rows on the back side of the head. At some point, I realized that the night before, I did not sleep well. At 2:37, I was still awake, which means that I was probably working on 4 hours of sleep at the most. The client suggested that I go home and take a nap. Of course, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go ahead and complete this establishment. But we had talked about stretching it to 3 days anyway because of her time constraints. So there I was. It was almost 4 o'clock. And at some point, I started feeling a bit confused, trying to figure out why I felt the way I did, and also trying to figure out why I was dropping my tool so much. And things just wasn't coming together for me. Then after that, I just had this weird feeling in my body till my whole body ached. And I asked my husband to bring me something for pain, and he did. And my stomach started acting weird. I drank my kombucha that I always drink for gut health, and I thought I was better. My client suggested that I sit. I sat down, and that wasn't working either because it was hard for me to sit and work. So sitting and working, something I'm not used to doing, not feeling well, it was just getting crazy. So finally my client said, Jean, let's get ready to go. Let's just quit for the day. And I said, well, I need to finish this row. And then I had one more lock I needed to put in the row. You guys, I put a rubber band there right after saying that. and we walked out the door more than 2 hours early. More than 2 hours early. So I did not accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, because we walked out more than 2 hours early, and pretty much after lunch I did not accomplish much. So I had a consultation on day 3. Day 3, I had my consultation. My establishment client came in at about 10. We really got started maybe about 10:30 after settling in. And we began to work, and we discussed the day before. And what we determined was there was only one thing different about that day. I drank a strawberry lemonade from a smoothie business that I often frequent. Well, not often. I'll just say I've been there about 3 times. I bought that strawberry lemonade when I was getting a smoothie. I saw someone with a strawberry lemonade and it looked so good, so I decided to purchase one. We talked about it, talked about what that business offers. And what I drank was an energy tea. My body knows nothing about energy drinks. And so what it did was it just stopped me in my tracks. It did, because it was even hard for me to lay down when I got home. My husband had to rub my back to soothe me so that I could eventually relax enough to go to sleep. So 3rd day, we got started working. And it was a really good day. I was just about finished with her, and we only had the nape back here to finish. We decided that we would quit right at 6 o'clock again, so that my client could get home before it was dark. So I said to her, you know what, you have been so gracious in all that has been going on. I realized had I not been sick, we would have completed that establishment within the 3 days that we'd set aside. So this was Saturday, and we decided that I had a Microloc establishment that I had to do on Monday. On Tuesday, I would travel to her house. One of the things that I said to her when we were leaving the salon on Saturday was, there must be something that God wants me to know or you to know for us to have to spend this much time together. And so I arrived at her house on Tuesday at 11 because I had nothing else scheduled. And when I walked in the door, my client said, this is my husband. She introduced me to her husband. He was sitting at the dining room table. And she said, who does she look like? And he immediately said, your sister. And I said to her, but you never told me that. And she said, I didn't realize it. I just knew that you were very familiar to me. And so what I learned that day was that I looked like my client's sister, Bernice. I did the rest of the locks in about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. We were finished, and it was such a wonderful feeling being there. And I hope she had that same feeling while she was here with me. Yes, it was really, really a good time that we had. The thing that I want you to know is that my client's name is grace. And she was so gracious through all of my challenges. So when I tell you that I am grateful to God for his blessings, I really am grateful because he is so good to me. And I would say to anybody, if you are a consultant and you get sick, not feeling well, you need to have grace in your chair. The Bible tells me that grace and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And grace sure showed up in my client on that day. This is a sister who loves her locks. I love my friends. I love my family. And I especially love God. And now I'm going to do my 360. I left this sort of in my 360. Have a great day.